Football creates legends, but not every story ends in glory. Jimmy Case wasn't just another midfielder. He was a force of nature. His tackles were brutal, his shots unstoppable, and his presence on the pitch undeniable. At Liverpool, he fought his way from obscurity to the pinnacle of European football, winning trophies and commanding respect. Yet for all his triumphs, the battles off the pitch would define him just as much. One moment, he was lifting European cups. The next, he was gone. How did a player so vital to Liverpool's dominance find himself cast aside? Was it just football's ruthless cycle, or did his fiery personality and relentless lifestyle write a different ending? This is the rise, the fall, and the redemption of Jimmy Case, a story of glory, controversy, and the price of refusing to change. His journey is one of football's most compelling, and if you love the untold stories of the game, subscribe now, because this one is just getting started. Some footballers are destined for greatness from a young age, but Jimmy Case had to fight for every step. He wasn't a product of a top academy or a teenage sensation-breaking transfer records. He was playing in non-league football, far from the glamour of the First Division. At South Liverpool, Case stood out, not for flashy dribbling or delicate footwork, but for his raw power, relentless tackling, and a right foot that could strike the ball like a cannon. He played like a man who had something to prove, and Liverpool's scouts took notice. In May 1973, he got his shot. Liverpool signed him. But signing for a giant club and making it into the first team were two very different things. For 2 years, he waited, training, learning, proving himself every day, knowing that a single chance could change everything. That chance finally came on April 26, 1975. His Liverpool debut against Queen's Park Rangers. The game ended in a 3-1 victory, but for Case, it was more than just a win. It was proof that he belonged. A few months later, in August 1975, he scored his first Liverpool goal against Tottenham, a powerful strike that summed up everything about him: aggression, determination, and precision. Liverpool had seen plenty of talented midfielders before, but Case brought something different. He wasn't just a player, he was a fighter, and soon English football would know exactly what he was capable of. For Jimmy Case, making it to Liverpool's first team was just the beginning. Now it was time to make history. By 1976, he had established himself as a key figure in Bob Paisley's squad. He wasn't just a tough midfielder, he was a winner. That season, Liverpool secured the First Division title and the UEFA Cup, with Case proving his worth in high-pressure matches. Then came 1977, the year that changed everything. Case played in the FA Cup final against Manchester United, scoring Liverpool's only goal in a 2-1 defeat. It was a tough loss, but redemption arrived just days later. In the European Cup final against Borussia Mönchengladbach, Case played his role in securing a 3-1 victory, delivering Liverpool's first-ever European Cup. Liverpool were now the dominant force in Europe, and Case was at the heart of it. Over the next few years, he helped them to back-to-back league titles in 1979 and 1980, proving himself as one of the toughest and most reliable midfielders in England. Then came more European glory. In 1978, Liverpool defended their European crown, defeating Club Brugge at Wembley. And in 1981, they lifted the European Cup again, this time against Real Madrid. 3 European Cups in 5 years, Liverpool were unstoppable, and Case was one of their warriors. But football moves fast, and success doesn't last forever. As Liverpool conquered Europe, trouble was brewing in the background. Case's aggressive playing style and off-field habits were starting to create tensions. The battles that made him a legend would soon become the reason for his downfall. Success at Liverpool came with expectations, not just on the pitch, but off it. Jimmy Case had proven himself as a warrior in midfield, but his aggressive style and fiery personality were starting to cause friction. For years, his toughness had been an asset. Now it was becoming a liability. The turning point came in the 1981 League Cup final against Tottenham. Case launched into a fierce challenge on Glenn Hoddle. Some saw it as pure commitment, others as reckless. It sparked a wave of debate, with critics labeling him as too aggressive. But that was only part of the problem. Behind the scenes, Case's off-field habits were beginning to catch up with him. His love for nightlife and his stubborn nature clashed with Liverpool's strict discipline under Bob Paisley. Paisley had built a dynasty on discipline and focus, and Case's lifestyle didn't fit the image the club wanted to maintain. Then in the summer of 1981, Liverpool made a shocking decision. Jimmy Case was sold. The official reason? The club wanted to bring in younger players, but insiders knew there was more to it. Whispers of behind-the-scenes tensions, clashes with Paisley, and concerns over his attitude played a bigger role than anyone admitted. One day he was lifting European cups. The next he was gone. From a key figure in Liverpool's dominance to an unexpected exit, Case had to start over. But his story was far from over. His next chapter would be about proving himself all over again. For many players, leaving Liverpool meant stepping down. For Jimmy Case, it meant proving he still had plenty to give. In the summer of 1981, he joined Brighton and Hove Albion, a club far removed from the European heights of Anfield. But Case never saw it as a step backward. He was there to fight, to lead, and to remind the football world that he wasn't finished yet. Then came 1983, his moment of redemption. Brighton embarked on an unforgettable FA Cup run, defying expectations at every turn. And in the fifth round, fate delivered the perfect storyline. Brighton versus Liverpool at Anfield. Case returned to the stadium where he had made history, but this time he was the enemy. The game was tight, but when Brighton needed a hero, Case stepped up, scoring the winning goal and knocking Liverpool out of the FA Cup. The player they had let go had just eliminated them in front of their own fans. Brighton's run continued all the way to the FA Cup final against Manchester United. Case played a crucial role, but despite their resilience, Brighton suffered heartbreak, a 2-2 draw in the first game, followed by a 4-0 loss in the replay. Even after the final defeat, Case had achieved something remarkable. He had gone from being cast aside at Liverpool to leading Brighton to their first ever FA Cup final. Relegation soon followed, but unlike many players who might have moved on, Case stayed, proving that his fight wasn't just about silverware, but about loyalty and belief. His time at Brighton cemented his status as more than just a Liverpool player. He was a leader, a fighter, and a man who refused to let his career fade away. Jimmy Case had already proven his worth at Brighton, but his next chapter would see him take on an even bigger role. In 1985, he signed for Southampton, a club looking to establish itself among England's top sides. At 31, some believed his best years were behind him, but Case was far from finished. From the moment he arrived, his experience and leadership were invaluable. He wasn't just a midfielder, he was a mentor, helping shape the careers of future stars like Alan Shearer, Matt Letizia, and Rod Wallace. His influence extended beyond just playing. He was a presence in the dressing room, a guiding force for young talents. But he wasn't just there to lead, he was there to compete. In the 1986 FA Cup, Case led Southampton to the semi-finals, setting up a massive showdown against his former club, Liverpool. It was a tense battle, but despite their best efforts, Southampton fell short, losing in extra time after 2 late goals from Ian Rush. Even in defeat, Case's value was undeniable. His leadership and tough playing style kept Southampton competitive in the First Division. By 1989, his performances were so outstanding that he was named Southampton's Player of the Year, an achievement that silenced any doubts about whether he could still perform at the highest level. That same year, he played a key role in Southampton's stunning 4-1 victory over Liverpool, proving once again that no matter the opponent, he would never back down. But as Case thrived on the pitch, a storm was brewing behind the scenes, one that would lead to a shocking and controversial exit. By 1991, Jimmy Case was still a crucial figure at Southampton, a leader on and off the pitch. But football is ruthless, and change was coming. When Ian Branfoot took over as manager, he made a shocking decision. Case was no longer part of his plans. At 37, Case still had plenty to offer, but Southampton moved him on, replacing him with Terry Hurlock, a move that outraged fans. Many believed that Branfoot had made a mistake, discarding a club legend who had given everything for the team. But Case wasn't done. He signed for Bournemouth in 1991, proving he could still compete. He played 40 league games in a single season, showing the same drive and resilience that had defined his career. Then came a move to Halifax Town in 1992, followed by Wrexham, where he played a vital role in their promotion push. Even as the years caught up with him, he refused to walk away from the game he loved. Case's final playing days saw him step into coaching while still lacing up his boots. In 1993, he joined Brighton as a player coach, bringing his career full circle. But even then, he wasn't ready to stop. At 41 years old, he was still playing competitive football, making him the oldest outfield player in English football at the time. His playing career finally came to an end on November 10, 1995. But Case wasn't walking away from football. He was stepping into a new role as Brighton's manager. From non-league football to European glory, from Liverpool to Brighton, from midfield enforcer to club leader, Jimmy Case's career was one of resilience, fight, and a refusal to back down. Some players are remembered for their skill, others for their trophies. Jimmy Case is remembered for his fight. From his rise at Liverpool to his battles at Brighton and Southampton, Case embodied everything that made English football tough, passionate, and relentless. He wasn't just a player, he was a presence. A midfielder who could dominate games with his power, leadership, and fearless tackles. His legacy isn't just in the trophies. 3 European Cups, multiple league titles, and domestic honors. It's in the respect he earned, the players he mentored, and the moments that defined him. Scoring in major finals, knocking Liverpool out of the FA Cup, playing until the age of 41, he never backed down. Even in retirement, his name remains etched in football history. A player who never took the easy road, never feared a challenge, and never lost the fire that made him great. Some legends are built on talent. Jimmy Case was built on pure will. Football is full of stories about skill and finesse, but few players leave behind a legacy built on sheer determination and raw power. Jimmy Case wasn't just a player. He was a fighter, a leader, and a symbol of unbreakable will. From conquering Europe with Liverpool to proving his worth at Brighton and leading Southampton, his journey was filled with triumphs, setbacks, and moments that will never be forgotten. He didn't just play the game. He lived it, fought for it, and left everything on the pitch. Legends aren't always made by goals or trophies. Sometimes they're made by the battles fought and the respect earned. And Jimmy Case, he earned it all. If you love stories of football's toughest warriors, subscribe now. More untold stories, more forgotten legends, only here